Hi, I'm Chris Meekin's fan. Sorry, I got distracted by Sean. Sean, Wolf Chaos On is with me tonight. Hi, Sean.
Hi, I'm here somehow.
Sean is here somehow, and also Moriarty while I fix our lower bumper. Hi, Moriarty.
Hi there.
I was thinking, and I was like, man, Pokemon TCG Pocket, one of the biggest app releases in years, just had a new set come out. I think it's like 3 months old now. And I think you two are the only people I know in our group that's still maybe opening the app. Sean, are you opening it?
Yeah, I see you like my showcase literally every single day.
Well, I got to give you the tokens, you know. Moriarty, do you open it?
You know, I have very recently stopped.
What?
Like very recently, I've stopped doing it. I feel
I've been liking your showcases for nothing.
I think we're going to talk about why.
Okay.
Sean,
why?
You seem, well, let's focus on you, Sean. Sean, you seem to like it.
Yay.
Why?
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's brain go, I'm going to play this while I have like 5 minutes at work. Oh, I'll open that. Oh, I'll do that. Oh, there's a little battle to do. Okay, cool. See you in about 12 hours.
So you do the battles.
Oh, yeah, no, I do it all. Because I want the tokens. I want the cards.
You want the cards. And Moriarty, what made you stop recently?
So I guess a little bit of background is kind of important here, right?
Yeah, okay.
I don't play Pokechew. I don't care about it. I've never understood it. Like, it's never been something that, like, you know, clicked in with me. I've never watched any of the stuff. In fact, that's part of the reason why we did the Podcastimon watch along of the movie, which was very questionable. There were a lot of very questionable things in this universe,
right?
And I had a lot of questions about it. And truly, it's my first experience with these things. I don't have any experience with Pokemon. When it comes to card games, I was a Magic player. And when it comes to cartoons, there were better ones, and like
like Digimon.
So sure.
Like Digimon.
So for me, these were just kind of like weird things that kids are collecting, and I don't really get them. And my experience has been mostly I didn't play any of the games. So Pokemon Go came along, and it was like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't really want to go for a run, so I guess that's not something that I'm going to be doing. And, it just never really clicked with me. But then this came along and I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. I can just kind of do a thing and get some cards and look at cards and make a thing. And then I realized that this game isn't a game. And I stopped. And, we did we do our like annual retreat. The Crubcella thing, we go.
When you put it that way, it sounds very culty.
Yeah,
we went off to the woods, did some guided meditations together. Yeah.
We disappear for a little while, and like we
come back brand new,
hang out. And while we were there, I kind of realized because I was watching Kevin the Golden Bolt and Justin the J-Tart 9 doing things with the cards and going, all right, there's a game here. And I've never experienced that in this card thing.
Oh yeah, no.
So I stopped, and I haven't uninstalled it yet, but I haven't updated it.
You weren't like, oh, let me try that. You were like, oh, there's a game here. Now I will stop.
No, it was like, oh, there's a game. There's like supposed to be a game. This is supposed to be a game, right? And the game, the app, isn't. It's just the most gotcha, pay me money, nothing ever. And I realized that when I saw somebody actually playing the game, because I was like, oh, right, it's supposed to be fun. I'd forgotten that. I never realized it was supposed to be fun.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like,
the app like isn't.
There's two different apps, too. It's like that one and then the actual card game app that, you play the actual card game. Whereas the TCG is very much not that in any way.
It's not. There's nothing. You're doing nothing. You're just literally, number go up. Yeah, I got them all, and it's okay. Yeah. But why?
I don't have them all. I need muck.
I don't need them all.
I did feel
because they're meaningless.
I did feel like Kevin clocked it pretty quickly because, like, half of Crub is pretty into the card game. I feel like I'm in that in between. Where, like, if they're playing, I'll play it, but I don't really keep up with it if they don't. Yeah. Right. And it was like night one, Kevin was like, "Oh, this is just an addiction simulator. Like the card game in this one, not very fun." And I can't lie, it is just kind of like a dopamine simulator. You open your cards and go, "Oh, that's neat." You don't really even like ever open the cards and look at them. At least I don't. I just like, "Oh yeah, I have it." And like 5 minutes
it's like,
later, I'm like,
have it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what am I doing then? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those like I just get on it, do it real quick. All right, cool. Anything I want? No.
Yeah,
and
right.
there you go. That's it. Whereas whenever I did the other Pokemon app where like you played the actual game, it was a lot more interesting in that aspect because you could actually do things with the cards rather than here's my showcase.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, like I still do open up the TCG app like pretty much every day, but it's kind of just become more of a habit than actually something I look forward to.
Mm.
But I feel like that's kind of like
dumbed down in this one.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like what a lot of gacha games like that are. Just, oh, I'm gonna open this real quick, do, cool. Well, I guess I'll do it again tomorrow, and you just make it into a habit.
I'll check back in 12 hours to open 5 more cards, and maybe they'll be new. Maybe.
Oh wait, I can open another one now. Click.
Yeah, and that's not fun. That's not enjoyable. That's just, it's like taking a looter shooter and taking out all the gameplay, and now all you're doing is like getting the shinies, right? Like you're going, okay, give me my shinies.
Looter shooter
I
without
got
the
my
shooting.
shinies. Now I go away. I'll be back for more shinies.
They should put
That's
Borderlands in Pokemon. Wait, that's Power
No.
World.
Yeah, I think we already got that one. It's confusing for me because like I like the main card game. I think it's fun. I think it strikes a good balance between being accessible but also having some complexity. Like it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm going to sit here and talk for 10 minutes on turn 1 about all the things I just did, right? But there's a good middle ground there of like you can get into it, but there's also plenty of depth. That's not in this card app. And then I look at the original one, which feels like some other company made it without Pokemon even like looking at it to sign off on it. It feels very sterile, off-brand, and weird. And I just can't help but think like, why didn't they do everything they wanted to do with this app and then invigorate that app instead? I don't know why there are 2. I don't know why like there isn't just a quick mode in the original app. You know what I mean? I don't know why there's
feels like they were banking more on nostalgia with this new TCG rather than like it felt more like, hey, you don't know how to play the new game, so how about we bring you back to your childhood? Remember when you played on the Game Boy Color? Because that's the only one that half you played it on.
Yeah, no. At my school, very much no one knew how to play the actual card game, but I had the Game Boy game. So I knew, and I get very frustrated when no one else bothered to learn and be like, well, that's not how the card game works, guys. Come on.
The card game, to be fair, the card game was kind of lit, though.
Well, it's fun, yeah. But
I mean, child me liked it. I don't know if it's actually good.
No, it's still good.
Okay, I'll believe you.
Yeah, I'm an
Don't
authority.
let me down.
Trust me. Don't listen to anyone else. Only listen to me. I think for me, the illusion really shattered when the trading part got introduced. It might have been after you dropped it, Em. Sean, have you?
Yeah, very recently. I know that they started doing the trading.
Yeah, where they started doing trading where you have to have like, there's so many restrictions to trading. It's stupid.
Yeah, it was having to like watch a YouTube video earlier today to understand. Yeah, there are trade tokens that replenish, and then there's trade stamina, which I think replenishes.
Yeah,
you can only trade
replenishes because they need money.
Yeah, you can only trade for equal rarity, which I guess makes enough sense, right? You can't trade a common Pikachu for a ultra crown Pikachu or whatever the hell is going on in this app.
Right.
So I get all that. I just don't know why it's there's like 7 sets of currency in this game. And I know that's a lot of mobile games, but I just feel old and tired and grumpy and like a boomer, I think is what I'm trying to say here. I don't get it. And I don't know why it isn't just like, hey, you can trade a card with a friend once a day.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that like I said, I open it and stuff, but like with other gacha games, like I know people that spend money on the game. Justin. I don't know a single person, even like scrolling through social media, I don't know a single person or I've seen a single person spend any money on this app because there's kind of really no point to because there's nothing to gain.
Not unless you're actually addicted. I did do the free whatever 2-week
premium
Poke
packs.
2 premium battle pass thing, whatever they call it. And I was like, oh, so I get to open an extra deck every day. Cool.
Extra deck.
Like
Oh,
you know,
right,
I'm not going to say that I was not already falling out of love with this game by the time that I'd fallen out completely. But it did become kind of this, I don't know, everyday login thing, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just opening it up to see number go up, and it sort of, what's it called?
Zenless Zone Zero?
Yo, Zen.
No, it's what gamblers do. They've got too much invested, so they can't get rid of it.
Sunk cost fallacy.
Sunk cost fallacy, right? So it's that's all this is. It's the whole thing that they pull you in with the shiny keys, right? Hey, Marvel fans, you know what this thing is? It's the Captain America doll that you really like. And then they go, look, and you can have one Captain America doll every day. And tomorrow there's going to be a Black Panther doll. And then the day after that, you get Doctor Strange. And then you get them all, and you have your Doctor Strange, and you have your Captain America, right? And you're like, whoa, cool. I can't stop, because then I won't have when
Squirrel Girl.
When Squirrel Girl comes out. And boy, tomorrow, you know, they've got Water Dog, and the next one they've got Dog Man, and the next one they like, what's the one that kills dogs and he's a hero? Like that, he like staples dogs, or dog welder, right? Like there's he's a hero. He welds dogs together.
I haven't watched an MCU movie in a while. I must have missed something. Wow.
So you've got, you know, but Dog Welder's coming in next. He's going to be here any minute now. And you've also got the door. Do you remember the Doorman?
Yeah,
you know
the
Doorman.
Stupid.
He can make. Would you like to hear the? Okay, I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take you on a.
Oh, Chris doesn't know.
I'm gonna take you on a slight digression here.
Okay.
So
No, this
Doorman is a really great hero. He can create a door between any.
Okay. Let me pick up a dozen issues of this guy's run. Hold on.
He can create a door between any two rooms that are currently adjoined.
Yeah. Make doors.
He's a walking Sims builder. Okay.
He can create a door between any two rooms that are already adjoined.
I can think of like 3 scenarios where that'd be a useful skill, and then I don't know what you do with that character after that. It's like, oh, we walked Doorman up and we're going to interrogate him. And he's like, I'm the Doorman. I'm going to go. And they're like, foiled again.
But
if only this was a single room. If only
he's going to be in the hallway next.
If only we had placed him in one room, he couldn't have went to a different room.
But like, it's not even a room. You can't.
He's not even just like.
You can't use it to get out.
I need
to leave the house.
I need to step back. Room. Is this a Marvel Rivals character?
I don't. No, he's. I don't even know if it's Marvel or DC, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I think it's Marvel.
But the point is that, oh, look, I show you all the shinies, right? Yeah. And oh my god, I need them. And then eventually, we're at the point where we're talking about Dog Welder and Doorman being, you know, the new cards that you get for today. And it's like, yeah, I don't think I really need them, but I mean, they complete the set. I need to have all of them, or else I don't have all of them. And if I don't log in every day, well, I'm wasting time. I'm wasting my own labor, right? Because you have only 3 card draws per day, or whatever it is, and you know, it's every 12 hours. And if you don't log in and use them, then you wasted them. They've been wasted because you didn't log in. So that going by, it could have been accruing towards your next Dog Welder card.
Well, what if you got a big shiny in that card pack you missed too, right? Like you.
I mean, boy, right? It's like sort of distilling FOMO and
gambling,
sunk cost into the same thing, right? Like it's weirdly I don't know. I don't want to say predatory because it's not like it doesn't feel particularly predatory, but it's got all of the underpinnings to be really predatory. If it were just slightly more evil, it would be really evil, right? Like it's on the precipice of evil and it just hasn't jumped over, but it could. It's just one little pebble step and we are over into the abyss of evilness.
I think for me, the illusion shattered in that you can stack up the hourglass things and open 10 packs in a row.
Yeah.
And so you get like 50 cards at once, and that feels incredible. It's like, oh my God, I'm flipping through and I'm opening like 10 packs and it's like in a row.
It's like, yay.
I'm like, oh, yay. And then I get that and I'm like, huh. And then 3 weeks later, when I'm like, man, I don't know when the next set's coming out, and I just keep getting the same cards because I opened 50 the other week, and I robbed the daily satisfaction of at least seeing a new card, right? And I'm like, well, why would I open 10 packs? Because I'm just making myself feel worse for longer. And then I was like, am I enjoying this?
Mm-hmm. And there's also the other side of that too, right? Like where you are looking at it saying, well, I really should hold on to all of these hourglasses, right?
Yeah, because
like, why would I use them for one? I could just wait until I can get 10 packs. I mean, it's a waste, for that. Right?
Yeah, there's no like 5-pack option. It's 1 or 10.
Yeah. That's it. And if you use it on the one to like get the extra time, that you need to just unlock the one more right now. Go, it's only 10 minutes. I can just use the card instead of waiting 10 minutes. Right? It feels so bad the more you look at it, right? And like I sort of had that realization that I was feeling bad about this game, and that's not good. And just generally speaking, I don't think that there's much gameplay there. I play mobile games, and I know not everybody does, right? But I like actively play mobile games. They probably play mobile games more than I play, actual real games at this point, because I can play a mobile game while I'm on the couch watching a movie that's bad and being like, well, this I can just pull up my mobile game, or if I'm sitting at the mall and waiting for a thing, I'll pull up a mobile game. Or I'm in my car waiting for something to happen, I can pull up a mobile game.
I just imagine you like at the mall now waiting for like GameStop to open up their thing and just walk in like, hey.
I'm famously a fan of physical games. Yes,
No, you don't even buy the games. You just go in there and just like, hey, y'all.
You guys played this?
You play this? Just show them your phone every single day.
This thing was free too. You could have this. You don't even have to come to this store. You could just play this on your phone. So I play a lot of mobile games, and I feel like I've seen all of the sort of predatory stuff, right? I've seen all of the things. I've learned the tricks. I have my AdGuard VPN turned on all the time, so that not sponsored, so that I never, or my DNS. I don't use the VPN, but I use the AdGuard DNS because it just automatically filters out all the ads, so I'll never see an ad randomly show up in a mobile game. Cool. I can't click, for the rewards on an ad either because I'm not going to get an ad, right? Which means that I end up kind of finding myself taken out of that loop of pay for the rewards by watching an ad, right? And I end up playing the game sort of in a I don't know, naturalistic way.
While we're at it, you mentioned one to me, Capybara Go.
Yes,
which is not a Pokemon Go like. So as someone who only pretty much plays Pokemon Go on their phone, that took some adjusting, but I got there because I'm a big smart man. I had forgotten the mobile game space and how it had gotten, and having to watch an ad to get in-game rewards was the thing I forgot existed. That alone felt bad. But as you're getting into it, it's a cute game. It's like an there's like a little capybara, and he goes and he like swipes with a sword and casts spells with a wand. It's cute. But it's like, oh well, you should try the beginner up to speed pass, or what if you bought the oh my god, you're so cool pass, and it's like, oh well, you just unlocked the ability to do this thing and this thing, and what if you spent money on these resources? And I'm looking at all these things pile up on the border of the screen. It's like, hey, what if you clicked me and spent money? Hey, what if you clicked me and spent money? And I'm like, oh my god, this is insane, and I feel overwhelmed. And then I look back to Pokemon TCG, and I'm like, well, at least it does what the one thing it's doing. Maybe I don't understand what it's doing, but it at least does the one thing it's doing, and isn't constantly like, well, I mean, what if you bought the
yeah. Yeah, some of these games are very predatory, right? And Capybara Go is the same sort of thing where it's definitely got a lot. I mean, they are clearly making their money off of whales. There are people out there, I've put in some time in there. I've probably been playing it for, I don't know, 2 months, right? Like, not all the time, but I put in, 15 minutes a day, probably the same amount of time that you put into, any mobile game that you really enjoy. Yeah. And, I have definitely seen people who, like, I recognize what they have. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I know that costs $100, right? I know that particular thing costs $100. You cannot possibly get it without spending that kind of money. So I know that people are doing that. And, by sort of having this detachment from willingness, I'll never pay for a mobile game. Like, I just won't do it. And I'm not going to watch ads either. And sort of all of that. I'm the worst possible customer for a mobile game company because they're going to make zero money off of me, right? And I have all my privacy stuff turned off. I'm not giving you any of my data. I'm not sharing anything with you. I'm not watching ads. I'm not paying your money, right? I am just extracting value from you, Like, and as soon, literally the moment that I'm not interested anymore, I'm deleting you forever, Like, I'm so ruthless about a mobile game because I find them to be kind of, whatever in that way. But because I've played so many of them, I see so many of these sort of bad tactics in Pokemon TCG. They just haven't used them against you. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like recognizing that this is a fire hazard. You know what I mean? Like, looking at the wires on the wall and being like, that could burn down at any minute. I've seen that happen in other houses. It just didn't happen here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how it feels. And I'm fine with that to an extent because really, like, I know I am very transparent with myself about it. I know that what I'm doing here is just looking for, like, that dopamine hit, I'm looking for that. I just want that kind of like, I feel good about get number go up. Cool. I'm great. I play a lot of idlers. I love idlers. They're great. Number go up. Yeah. Cool. Feels good to make progress. That's it, right? Like, I don't care that I'm not making real progress. Make number went up. And that's how that felt in the Pokemon. Plus, there was a little bit of that social aspect, right? Like, I get to like when Mykonos fan opened it. Oh, that.
You could maybe get one of the cards I got too.
Oh, I can click it. Oh, look at that. I'm going to click into that. And of course, I'm only going to do it for friends, right? Because, like, they get a little bonus thing that says, when I say thanks at the end, they get like a little card, or they get a little whatever it is. Because I don't even know what half the stuff is doing half the time. You just see a thing go up and blink, and it's like, oh, fireworks. That's probably a positive, right? So I get it. And I know I'm transparent with myself. I'm honest with myself. I know that that's what I'm getting at. I know that that's what's happening. I'm fine with that. I just feel that after a certain point with this particular app, and I don't even think you should call it a game. I think it's an app, right? Once you have spent enough time with this app, you realize that you're not doing anything and there's no value in it, right? Other than just like, if you stop, you don't get it anymore. And is that enough for me?
It's something I noticed also with, I'd be curious how many people even remember this came out, but I'm a big Pokemon mark. Let's just make that clear if anyone doesn't know. I spend way too much time on playing Pokemon. Pokemon Sleep. You guys remember Pokemon Sleep?
I do. I played that for a little bit and I did not like it.
Yeah, it hit me recently because I have the little thing that works with Pokemon Go and Sleep, and it like tracks your sleep and it sits on your bed and spins Pokestops in Pokemon Go. Useful enough if you're a freak like me, but I think that's been out for like a year and a half, 2 years or something. And recently I was just opening it up every day, and I was like dreading every time an animation would play and take me away from like doing my daily tapping things. I'm like, this isn't even a game. What am I doing?
Yeah.
There's no gameplay part of this. It's, I've raised a Pokemon and it gets ingredients to make the food faster
soup
to feed the Snorlax. Yeah, like the soup and whatever. But there's no game part. And once you've got like a good enough team, there's nothing left to do. And I was just contrasting that with TCG, and I'm like, well, once you've got like some nice cards, or you've seen most of the new cards in the set, you're not really doing anything day to day. And I'm like, am I doing this? Like, am I doing this for fun? Or am I doing this just because it's a habit, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think like TCG is, and what a lot of mobile games are like trying to do is to make it into that habit. So like you keep going, so that whenever they do release like new content and stuff, maybe you'll be inclined to, spend a little extra money that you've just been saving up this whole time, because now we're throwing it all in your face and you might miss out. Bring your friends back, send them notifications, and we'll give you an extra 5 sand pieces so you can, get your pack 5 minutes faster.
So Sean, are you going to spend money on Space Time Smackdown?
No.
The newest card set to release in TCG Pocket?
No.
It has 100 plus new cards.
I know it does. Like I said, I open it every day. I'll open it right now.
Right now?
I don't even know. Yeah, why not? Let's open
Do you
the
have
thing right
a
now.
Timer that will give you a gracious 5 card pack?
Let's find out.
Okay. I guess the other thing, I'm not going to allege a conspiracy. I'm just going to say it's either incredibly fortunate or unfortunate that the newest physical TCG card set has come out.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it. Massive shortages. Prismatic evolutions or something. No one can find packs. No one can get packs. No one can get the boxes. They had to put out a statement, I think, recently being like, yeah, we're sorry. We're going to do our best to print more, but, kind of can't. And I'm like, oh, it sure is convenient then that there's this digital version with new cards coming out all the time that they can point people to and get them frustrated that they're not opening enough cards fast enough or something, right? And I'm like, oh.
Right. It's like, oh.
I don't think they intentionally shorted their physical card supply, but I see that they've created a good alternate route for people who are like, oh man, I can't get the real cards. I guess I'll spend $20 on the app today. And I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. And
it just feels weird. I don't know. Pokemon is always a weird thing in general of like, I have a childhood love for it that's extended way too far into my life. And then also it's like secretly this incredibly insidious business that is extracting so much money from every person involved in caring about it, where I'm always like, I really like it, but it makes me feel bad sometimes. And
I think it's important to remember that, Pokemon is the largest media product of all time, right? Like it's not small by any means. Yeah. And it's also, kind of got some predatoriness in there automatically, right? Like the whole concept of it is to be a gachapon.
Yeah.
You gotta get them all.
You gotta get them all.
Yeah.
And it was designed to sell. It was designed to sell these toys, right? Like
it was designed to sell games too, because like you could only get certain ones in one game, but certain ones in another. So either you gotta have friends, which, I didn't, but then you buy 2 games. You gotta play the game twice. Yeah, go buy friends. I should do that.
And I don't want to be, and I know there's a bingo card that I saw on our Discord. Ooh. And on this bingo card, it was for one of the Crub things that was going on. And in this, the square that I had was M says something is negative or M says something is bad, right? And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I guess I kind of am the one who says things are bad sometimes. But like, there are bad things out there. And boy, this app has a lot of bad parts about it. I don't have a problem if someone enjoys that. If they're getting their dopamine hit off of this, if this is their idler, then like, who cares? But it just really isn't a game. And there's not really a whole lot that's redeeming there outside of your sort of personal click, I feel good, progress is feeling good.
Yeah. I've bought a lot of the physical cards at a point in my life, right? Because I did like getting them, but it is a thing of like, oh, where am I going to put them? Oh, you have to keep them in the binders and keep them in a lukewarm area and keep them upright, but also make sure the binders don't, like, the plastic sleeves don't bend over time and affect the card. Like, there's a lot to think about that you don't really think about until someone makes you think about it. And at least with the digital version, it's like, okay, well, I can just have all the fun of having them. I can blow them up and look at it without worrying about storing them or anything like that, right?
So an NFT.
And the art is very, very pretty, admittedly, in this game. The art is very
for
pretty.
sure.
You know, they've done a really good job of translating very pretty art into very pretty art on your phone. You don't really own it, so it feels even more kind of hollow, because I feel like I could have just Googled that, right? Like, if I want to know what a Pokechew VX whatever the rat is, right? So, like, if I want to see the rat and I want to look at the rat and I want to look at the rat like up close and be like, oh, look at its tail. It sure has a tail, all right. Oh, and it shoots electricity out of its butthole or whatever, right? Like, I could look at that rat up close on my computer. I can stare at the glory of this rat's art and have it in a much prettier, beautiful, you know, full 34-inch wide rat butthole if I wanted to. I could just be staring at it right. You can't tell I'm not staring at it, in fact, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, you could be doing it right now.
Doing that and getting kind of the surprise part of it. Boy, surprise, here's the rat butthole you get today. It just doesn't do a whole lot for me, I think. And maybe this is just my not being a member of, you know, benign cultist stuff, but like, I don't know. I guess I just don't really fall for that. And I'm not trying to be the negative one here, but I am, I guess.
What if, you know, I don't have a funny, actually. Yeah, no, I agree. That's part of why I follow the people who post the new cards, right? Like, I don't know how, but somehow in Japan, it's just like, oh, here's this artist's new card for the Pokemon TCG, and you can blow it up real nice. Yeah, and it's like, oh, look at the art, because frankly, the art in the Pokemon trading card game in recent years, like, it was always pretty good, but in like the last few years, they've just been like hitting their stride on consistently great
That's
art.
Gorgeous. I think the art is gorgeous. It's really, really pretty.
There was one artist who like posted on, it was either Blue Sky or Twitter. I'm pretty sure it was Blue Sky, but they posted like, in every one of my trading card illustrations, I've always put like a random Pokemon in each. I mean, not Pokemon, Pokeball in each picture. And like saw like, they were like, oh, there's a Pokeball there, there's a Pokeball there, Pokeball there. And I find that really interesting. Yeah, it was like,
Sean, what
just happened?
Did I just give an activation phrase to Sean? It was like a factory reset.
Hidden Mickey. Hidden Mickey is in Kingdom Hearts.
What?
You didn't know that?
So confused.
I thought you were just mentioning, because in Kingdom Hearts 3,
I wasn't bullying you this time, but now that you mention it.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry.
No, I was talking about how in a lot of Disney movies, they'll be like, here's the circle and the two ears, and you know, and people like to find it and track them like Easter eggs. But now that you mention it, Sean, I mean, Kingdom Hearts.
There's hidden Mickeys. Mouse.
Hidden Mickey.
I hate this. And I know that's not like
for those of you who are listening to this, boy, was it as equally confusing for those of us who are watching it. Don't worry, you're not out on the, like, we are all confused here. Sean just stopped dead like he had been disconnected.
Yeah, no, you just, I was turned off and turned back on.
I thought for a second, I was like, did my computer just break again? What happened?
No, Sean broke. That was like my sleeper agent code.
We were bullying Sean quite hard in our pre-show, because we do stream these on twitch.tv/Crub_official every Tuesday at around 7 p.m. Eastern. We start a little before that, just kind of talk with chat, stream the show, and then after we talk, we also have, we're in the plug, that's right. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Crub, where for $5 a month, you can get the podcast early and access to all our video content. We also have a $10 audio tier where two other people who aren't here with me, but I and Kevin and Justin, previously mentioned, are watching through all of Pokemon, the anime. We're heading into Johto now, which is about 180 episodes. We don't regret this decision, but we're doing that in podcast watch along form. It's great. There's a lot of stuff. That's the plug. It's great. Ask the people who are in our chat. They love it. Do you guys love it? They're here and they're all saying yes immediately. They love it so much. Sean.
Yeah. So, what, me? Hi.
What about the term hidden Mickey activated you though? Because it's like, yeah, we bully you for Kingdom Hearts, but that was just the mention of Mickey Mouse.
Well, you said hidden Mickey because, like, here's the thing: you always everyone brings up Kingdom Hearts at some point in time, and
it's true. They do
just throw it at me. I guarantee that's on the bingo card. Is Kingdom Hearts. Just Kingdom Hearts. Doesn't matter. It's probably is it in our freaking tags right now? It probably is. I'm not even going to look. I don't care.
I think Kevin put Kingdom Hearts Community in there at one point, and I don't think I ever had the heart to take it out. Yeah.
But so you said hidden Mickey. And like, I know that's not exactly what they're called, but they're hidden. Like, you have to like go in a certain angle and you have to take pictures of the store and like, oh, there's the ear, there's the big face.
Out of curiosity, just before you go too deep, which Let's Player did you watch this from to learn about it?
Was it the Game Gramps?
The Game Gramps does seem like the ones that it would have been. For those of you who are new to Crub, Sean, Wolf KO Sean here, has never played Kingdom Hearts.
All those are wrong.
He never will. We've been trying to convince him that he needs to, but he just won't. And it's really sad, but, Anyway, so you were saying about this Let's Play you watched.
No, I didn't.
Did you like the video and share it like everyone should do with this podcast? I like that though, because that probably came from the movie Easter egg thing, but for you, it's a Kingdom Hearts thing. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, because one of them's good.
The movies, right?
I don't even know what.
It's like a lot of Disney movies. It's a pretty wide brush to paint.
It's just I don't even remember what we were talking about. I don't even remember what I was saying, but you said just hidden Mickey, and just like my entire brain said no.
We were talking about how good the cards were, art-wise.
The art.
Oh yeah.
And then you were like, blah blah blah. I need to pretend that I
know the Pokeballs and the illustrations. It's like, yeah, that's really, yeah. It was really interesting, and I really like that because it just shows like the kind of like passion that these illustrators have. I love that. Right. It's freaking fantastic.
And for those of you who have just skipped ahead, yes. Yes, that is the same conversation. Yes. Sir.
Pain and suffering is all I feel.
Mm-hmm. So,
so just cracked himself up.
Well, it's just one of those things, right?
Yes.
Like, it's hard to kind of, I don't know. I think the art is really pretty. I can look at the art on the internet. I think that, collecting the cards is fine if you can find them. I mean, I understand that right now you can't. But,
right.
You can go buy cards and you can own them and you can have that art in your home and you can, stare at it or put it in a binder or put it in your wallet. I don't know, whatever people do with these cards when they want to collect them, right? Like,
right.
Binder.
But I just don't feel that there's a lot of value in the app. I don't feel like I get a whole lot out of it. And I don't think somebody who's a big fan, and admittedly, I gave the background because I want to make it clear that I'm clearly not the demographic for it, right? Like, I'm not the one that they want to get. I'm not going to be a whale. I don't play these games and pay money. I don't watch ads. I don't do any of that kind of stuff that, like, generates revenue. I'm also not a big Pokechu fan. I'm not like, oh my God, I need to know about the rat. Like, that doesn't matter to me. I've never been interested in this thing.
You don't even know that there's a gender difference of male and female Pikachu on the tail.
Which is cool.
I don't know if you're just saying that or not. I don't
would
know
it
if
sound
males
more or
and
less
females.
believable if I said the girl had a heart end on the tail?
I don't know.
I need a yes or a no. Yes or no. 3.
Like, does that sound more believable or less believable? Because it's so like, oh, what a girly thing.
I should put this in my next quiz.
Oh, Sean, put this in your next quiz.
I'm going to go with yes, that's real, but only because I'm just now finding out that there's a female Pokechu.
There's a female Pokechu. Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
The male one
know that they had
like
sexes.
A rectangle, and then the girl one ends like a heart. That's how you know which one's a goyle or not.
If you say anyway, so like clearly, I'm not. I don't even. There could be a listener who's like, "This is all lies. I can't believe he's falling for it." No, you need to understand. This is how much I don't know about this. Right? I am not a.
I think what gets me, like as someone who is engaged, there are a lot of apps where I'm like, I can see why someone would fall into wanting to spend a lot of money on this. Right? I play Pokemon Go, and I see why people would, want to spend a lot of money in that to do the raid battles and stuff to get the shiny alternate color Pokemon, right? With this one, I'm like, I don't know what someone gets other than I can win the very simplistic battles if I get a specific card that's good right now. And
it's not even difficult.
Right. I guess that's a pull. I could see it in the main app because there's a lot more strategy and cards and battle varieties and plans and strategies and stuff you can get into with the main actual card game. But with this, I'm like, it kind of just feels like who got the better hand first, Yeah,
it's like, oh, I can throw Misty out there and I got 2 blue. You're dead. GG. Right.
It's like, I don't know what would compel someone to spend that money, but with the millions of downloads they got on this, I'm sure enough people have. I just don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know. And
I don't know.
I don't think you deserve a bingo space for being negative on this one. I just think you're correct. Because I agree with you.
You can be negative and correct.
Like, I'll probably still keep opening it for a while. I do. I don't like that. I like the dopamine part of it, but I do. But every time I do it, I'll be like, what am I doing? So that's where I'm landing.
I opened it on stream, for crying out loud, and I opened a pack and I didn't get anything that I don't have. So
all 5 are old cards already? Sean, the set just came out.
Yeah, I have how many cards do I have? Let's find out.
Actually, I had that too. I had the thing where it's like, oh, you have 30 of the 130 Space Time Smackdown cards or something. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll open the pack. All 5
that's
already.
Just like a WWE thing.
I love wrestling. All 5 are cards I already had. I'm like, what are the odds of not even getting one new card when I have less than a sixth of all these cards?
Oh, they know.
Anyway.
How many cards do I have in this?
How many cards do you have, John?
Let's find out. How do you find out? Display board? No, wrong, incorrect.
I think the last thing I could say on it is that every time you do open a pack, they all filter down. It's like, oh, you have this many cards. I hit like 1,500 today. And not once have I ever gone back in to actually look at the cards I have.
I have 84 out of 100.
Yeah, I know I have several hundred. I probably have 700 or 800, right? Like I didn't not play this. Whew. Oh, okay. There's a lot. But I didn't not play this is the point, right? Like I definitely put in my time to play it. I put in my time clicking on it. And I never looked at, in fact, I found it kind of annoying that I couldn't more quickly skip through them because I don't actually care what cards I got, right? Like, I don't know what they are. They're meaningless to me. Oh, look, here's the blue squid and here's the green potato. And like, I built a deck out of cards that I was like, this one's cool. It's a big bird. That's a cool one. I don't know what it is. It's just a big bird screaming at a thing. And I was like, that's a cool one. And that's it, right? Like, that's the sum total of my experience in this. So for me, I kind of just wanted to skip through it. I didn't want to see it go into a binder. That's annoying. I don't want to see it go whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I just skip them all. I don't want to see it. You're wasting my time.
I like
just imagine you like putting the cards into like a. When you said whoosh, 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 I'm like, you just put them in like a washing machine and just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. That's what it sounded like. I didn't like that. I don't know.
That's how you get the sparkles on them, Sean. Because if you have 3 of a card and you have the sparkle shine dust, you can add the flare. And this is an actual mechanic.
I know it is. I have so much flair for things that I
will
never
open
touch.
this up for you to tell you what the bird is.
Big bird.
All right, I'm gonna bet Zapdos.
Oh wait, wait, what? Hold on.
I'm getting a live opening here.
Yeah, it'd be Big Bird then. If you said, Zapdos. Yeah,
it is
Zapdos.
Articuno EX.
Zapdos' brother.
That's cool. It's a cool bird. He's all like, wow. That's neat.
No, Zapdos is all wah. Actually, he's more like, ah! I was going to scream, but audio listeners.
No, this one, he's all wah, right? And he's like gold filigreed or whatever. What? I don't know anything about it, and I never will, and I won't even remember its name. Because there's only 3 Pokemon, okay, that matter.
Which are?
Empoleon.
Okay.
Hisuian Zorua.
Not a penguin.
And Dunsparce.
Literally flat dragon.
These are the only 3 Pokemon that matter.
It's not a dragon at all, actually.
And all of them have their reasons for matter. Empoleon is the coolest because this is a penguin, right?
It's fair.
But there's many
like
penguins.
are cool. They're the coolest animals. When I go to a zoo, you know what I want to see? Penguins and giraffes. I don't care about anything else.
There's a giraffe. There's a giraffe with 2 heads.
Okay, but it's not. There's a penguin, right? Penguin.
There's many penguins.
Hisuian Zorua is cool because the Hisuian Zorua lures children into the forest to kill them. I just think that's really it's great. Right?
It's great.
You are
we
very
signed
new
off on that here.
It's like a ghost horse zebra thing that murders kids. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
and then Dunsparce is like the ultimate troll. And I love that. I love that they were like, oh, it doesn't evolve. The original, right? The Dunsparce doesn't evolve. And then they evolved it, and it's the same thing, but it's a little longer. I think that's incredible. That's like the best thing I've ever heard.
It was my favorite.
What about the mouse
one.
family?
Because every time a new Pokemon game would come out, there were Dunsparce enjoyers who were like, this here's the one, man. This time they're going to give Dunsparce a cool dragon evolution. And then like 2 decades passed, and you're like, oh, here you go. Yeah, he's a little bigger. It's the same exact Pokemon.
The exact same, but he's slightly larger. I think that's really, really, really funny.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've determined it. Pokemon TCG Pocket is a doom.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun for a week, though.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, I think I would say, like, I'm trying to... I was... Okay, so... one of the things that I'm very interested in personally in my life is root beers, right? Like I'm really interested in root beer. I've had hundreds of them. I have a list. I keep, little notes on all of them. Don't think I'm like writing a review for each one. Some of them are literally just like, well, this one sucks, right? And like, that's it, you know? And some of them, I go into pretty big detail, but like, generally speaking, it's just like, yeah, this one's okay, I guess, if you like that kind of thing. It's not very good though. Right, like that's definitely my own personal review for me. And I recently was looking and talking about this because I think eventually I want to make my own root beer. I want to like start brewing root beers, mostly so that I can afford to make a perfect root beer that I like, right? And I'll sell it so that other people can subsidize me having a perfect root beer. I think that's great. But
this is the beginning of your mad scientist downfall.
Yeah, like I'm not already a mad scientist.
It's not perfect yet. It doesn't have the same ingredients.
Right. Point is that I realized that I need to I don't want to rate things. I'm not Doug Walker here. I don't need to rate things. I don't need to give them out of a 10. You know what I mean? Right. Instead, what I want to do is I think I'm going to say high, medium, or low. Right? Like high, medium, or low, just in general for like kind of overall enjoyment. You know what I mean? Like just, high enjoyment, low enjoyment, whatever. Right? Like somewhere in there. And I feel like Pokemon is a low.
Yes. That's depressing. Why don't you think it's a high? Wait, what would...
need to explain that so much.
Let's go with this way. What could this app do to make it a high for you?
They give me cards.
Wait, so it's already a high for you?
No, they give me the actual. I want the actual.
Oh,
cards.
it like prints out of your
hand.
phone. Okay.
Yeah, it's like that.
That would be impressive.
Like the Game Boy, where you had like the little picture thing, and it would like print those out, and they're literally like just 2040p. Terrible.
I think I saw that in a video about things that existed 35 years ago, but I don't remember it now.
Game Boy printer, man.
You could do that now. We could make that.
What could make it a high? I don't know that there's a whole lot, because I think fundamentally, if we're going to talk like realist, let's really get into it kind of stuff, right? I think fundamentally this game is broken because it is around the wrong things, right? It is around the idea of collecting a bunch of cards for things that you already care about. So like fundamentally the game is broken for me.
Borderline fetishization of doing so even.
Yeah. Right. Actually, I don't know that there's any way that it could be good for me, right? I'm not the core demographic. I don't know. Maybe if it were a root beer collecting thing, I'd be like, oh, hey, look, I got the intergalactic root beer. You know, that's really cool. Beer.
Oh,
right. Yeah, Fitz is fine. You know,
I got a picture of Doug Walker holding a mug.
Mug is like one of my least favorite root beers.
Don't say that.
But a Doug Walker holding a mug, you're gonna sit here and tell me that wouldn't be a good thing to get?
Mug Walker,
Mug Walker.
Mug Walker.
Yeah,
that sounds
awful.
like a Walking Dead character.
So
Mug Walker.
The point being that it's fundamentally disinteresting to me because it's not about something that I particularly care. I have no nostalgia for the rat butthole, right? Like I just don't.
What?
I don't look at that and go, boy, I've got to get me that, and like
what?
I just don't feel that. And
do you think if the card game component was more,
if it were engaging? More fun? Okay, so like there's a Pokechew game that I saw on the Switch that's called Unite.
Oh,
and
the
it's
League of
Legend. It's League of Legends. Yeah. Right? And like I don't know any of these animals, and I'm like, okay, I'll be the bear or whatever, right? Like and fine, yeah, I'm the bear, and that's great, and it's cool.
Even though that one is definitely more pay to win, which I find
okay, I'm not saying the game is good. I'm saying that like that's the type of thing where it at least got me to engage with it a little bit more, right? Okay. I don't know what any of the things are, but yeah, I choose the bear. I don't even think it's a bear. I think it's a dragon. But the point is that like
what?
I don't know, whatever. Like the big derpy Pikachu.
Dragonite?
Like, the dirt. I don't know, the one that looks stupid.
This is like hearing two people who kind of know the same language like try to communicate. And I'm just like, I don't want it to continue, but I kind of can't stop listening to it because it's so amusing. I'm sorry. It's a Dragonite. The Pikachu.
Like, I don't know any of these things. I'm sorry. Anyways, it at least got me to engage a little bit, right? Yes. And I was able to go like, I get this, and I understand kind of the, conceptually. Pal World was the best Pokemon game I've ever played. Like, boy, I understood it, and it got me to play time and care about these things, and invest in it a little bit. And now I know that the ninja Egyptian fox cat is cool. I don't know. So he kind of looks like Anubis, but I don't.
Oh, Lucario.
No. I think he's called Anubis right. Like maybe he just is Anubis.
In Pal
World, Anubis.
Yeah,
it is just Anubis.
I think what you're saying is for you, this would be a high if it was Pal World TCG Pocket. And you could open up the
I mean, at least then I'd be a little bit more invested, right? And even then it would probably only be a mid because it's still fundamentally not very good, right? Like it's just a collection. It's like all the parts of Gacha, but like when you play a Zenless or you play like a Genshin, there's something that you can do with these pointless tokens that you've collected. But in this, really not, because the battle is just boring and bad. So like, in order to make it mid, at least you take the boring bad battler and make it not as boring and bad. I mean, it has an auto battler, for God's sake.
Oh, it does.
It doesn't even teach you. You don't have to actually do this. So it's just kind of generally not good, in my opinion. And to be good, you'd have to change a lot about it. And that's not going to work.
Yeah, I feel you. I think for me, it literally is, like I said at the start, like if this was just both apps smushed into one, the aesthetics of this one, but the actual gameplay of the main card game, I think this would be like an all around win for me, at least. I'd be way more into it because the card game is fun, just not this version of it. But that's not the world we're in. Maybe we'll get a third card game app and it'll...
A third card game.
Smooth everything.
No.
Well, I'm going to call it there for Pokemon Talk. We do have a Crubscriber question of the week from our Gap Year Jesus Erkman 1. If you would like to submit a question to us, $2 a month on the Patreon gives you access to our Google Sheets form. There's so many Google forms where you can just... If you have 30 questions and $2 to spare, go in, throw them all in there, leave. That's fine. We'll take them. Just go in there and do that. The question this week, what video game vehicle, gadget, weapon, etc., pretty broad, would you want to own? The item comes with instructions and works as intended. But if you choose something like Master Chief's armor, intended. Yes. if you get something like Master Chief's armor, you don't also become a 7-foot tall super soldier, which it feels like a shame. I don't know. I always thought it was just a guy in there, and then it was like a mech almost. So like you became 7 feet tall no matter what. I don't think I understand Halo.
You just built like that.
Okay, but the important part is that it works as intended, which I think is really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if it were like, yeah, here you go, here's this mythical thing, and it just explodes and you die, that sucks.
Like,
I think I'd want a grappling hook. Maybe the Just Cause grappling hook, or maybe the Doom Eternal grappling, like a real it can pull you up anywhere at instant speed, and like, you're not gonna die when you hit it going 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like, it can hold you and all these things. I think that'd be super cool. I see in our chat the portal gun. That's a great option too. That'd be. I mean,
you could be like Doorman.
You could become Doorman, but better.
You can go outside
you don't
now.
Have to just do one wall. It doesn't have to be the adjoining. You can make a hole in a wall. He's just punching the wall. It's what a useless character. But yeah, so like a grappling hook, a cool grappling hook, because grappling hooks are a lot of fun. It's just got to be the kind of thing where you won't like accelerate to a great speed and then die. When you like, that would be no good. I don't want the grappling hook where I shoot the grappling hook and then it flings me across the valley at 50 miles an hour and then I smash into the ground and die. That sounds terrible. It's sort of like being the guy in Morrowind who drank the jumping thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't want that.
Gosh,
hell of a way to go though. Transferian chat says Sean definitely doesn't want a gummy ship. Can you confirm, Sean?
Kingdom Hearts. Depends. Can I build it? Like build it to what I want it to be, because that would take me hours, and I would love that.
I don't like the implication of that though, because if the answer is yes, you can build it, then you have to hang out with Chip and Dale, the squirrels, and that sounds like
they're not in it. They're not part of the thing.
They're not part of the thing. You exclude them.
No. Okay. So for me, like I was like, okay, Master Sword is very, everyone's going to say that, or they think of that immediately. Oh, Keyblade, okay, Kingdom Hearts, we get that. And then I start thinking more. I'm like, okay, what would be really practical? Maybe Fat Man from Fallout. That'd be funny. I could just blow people up one time. And that was
really practical. Just kill people.
Yeah, just one time. But also, like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I want Samus's armor. Samus's armor with like the gun and being able to like go into a little ball and just like hide away from people for like hours on end and nobody would ever find me.
It's true. It does operate as intended. So that means that you could turn into a little ball.
And I could also like
not
make
be
little,
squished.
Yeah, I could like make bombs and it doesn't hurt me.
Okay.
That's true. That is true.
Like, okay. Yeah.
Morph Ball Sean is a scary thought. I've been thinking, I don't know, my mind always goes to Sonic, and like you mentioned practicality, and I'm like, if I had a Chaos Emerald and could just warp to wherever I wanted, like a snap, that'd be kind of handy.
That'd be super handy.
Like
you could basically be what's his name? Hayden Christensen, right?
I could basically be Hayden Christensen. Yeah. What? Can you do that?
Yeah, that movie, whatever it was, Jumpers. That was the whole idea.
Oh gosh.
Chaos crystal himself anywhere he wanted.
I only thought he was Darth Vader. I'm not gonna lie. He did other movies?
Why was I thinking?
Yeah, they're equally bad.
Oh, good for him. Yeah. Jumper? What? I gotta
Jumper.
Look this up.
Yeah.
The game.
Yeah,
I mean the movie, not the game. They should make a Jumper game like years after it came out.
Yeah. Now they should make
now they should make a licensed Jumper game. All these years later.
My name's Hayden Christensen. Come play my new game, Jumper, based on the 1992 Jumper film.
But they have somebody else voice Hayden Christensen. They don't even pay him. They pay someone else.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Anywhere is possible, from the director of The Bourne Identity and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The movie poster on Wikipedia is like this big, so I had to go in and look at it, squint real quick. I've never heard of this. It must be great. I guess I'll watch it. It came out on Valentine's Day. You should watch it
and then think about how that is Sonic.
This
Go
Think
to
about
bed.
that, Sonic. When this episode of the podcast comes out, it is coming out on the 17th anniversary of Jumper. So I'd like to dedicate this episode to Jumper.
There's no way. That's not a thing.
That's literally what's happening, Sean.
I need you to
This is our
title this video
Valentine's Day
happy.
episode.
Hey,
Title
happy
is-
Valentine's Day.
Just say happy anniversary, Jumper.
Happy anniversary,
And
Jumper.
happy anniversary, Jumper. We should put that in our
We should put that on a shirt.
description. That should be in the description of
Put
the
it on
show
a shirt.
notes.
In a shirt.
I think it's important that we start celebrating.
I think we'll be
Jumper
the
Day.
only people to acknowledge the movie that day.
No,
Ever.
we should tweet it. We should make it a thing. Happy
make-
anniversary, Jumper. Go watch it. Understand that he is the real Sonic.
He's the real Jumper.
You know, there was that rumor that he was going to be Shadow in the movie before Keanu was confirmed.
There you
That'd
go.
be
This could have worked out, man.
We're in the wrong timeline.
All right.
The worst timeline.
This is feeling like an episode of the podcast to me. Do you two have anything more to say?
Yeah, no.
Jumper.
Okay. Everyone, our socials are down below. Scroll down, Blue Sky, Patreon. If you're on audio, you can find our YouTube, vice versa. We've plugged things. We're good. All right. Have a good week. Bye. Happy Valentine's Day. Go kiss someone.